I'm not a politician.
You are main. Okay, you are a politician.
I'm a politician
and an entertainment entrepreneur.
Yeah, I'm an entertainment
so
entrepreneur.
Both exist. They coexist.
Yeah, well, both exist. My business is in the entertainment.
I see. Good to have you in the studios. How you doing?
Well, I'm good.
All right. Well, we have Coca here as well. He's a showbiz critic in all white. Charlie Zane. Bibi Aboko. Good to have you. But Sadiq, I'll start with you. Are you surprised by the statements?
No, I wasn't surprised. I think that I shared it on the news almost 3 days ago when the news came out that it's been in the works for some time. And for those of us, even when I was in Nigeria in September, the decision was, as it were, made. And most of us that were in the industry and a bit closer to people that are related to it knew that it's been cancelled. They were only waiting to find a way to communicate it.
So as of September, it was already cancelled?
As of September, about 4 weeks ago, AFRO Nation, the decision to cancel it had already happened. They were waiting to communicate it and put it in the public domain. You know, so I mean, we knew it. We've been talking about it in the background. A few of us in the industry that knew about it have always been talking about what went wrong, what happened, trying to understand what may have caused the cancellation. You know, but so when it came out, it was not surprising. Myself and a few people that are involved in festivals in Ghana, for instance, have had to discuss it, see what lessons and what things that there is that impacted it, you know.
But what really led to the cancellation?
Well, from the information, I mean, there are real informations that one really can't put out, but from the information that has been gleaned out in terms of what actually is leaked to the public, the conversations around security. Okay. And the venue that they took it to, the TBS, apparently is a problematic venue. For a lot of Nigerians know that if we want to have an event of this nature, obviously the TBS won't be that venue. A few events that have gone there have had some experiences. When I was in Nigeria, for instance, and we had to discuss AFRO Nation, a very veteran industry person, Olisa Adiwa,
Olisa, yes.
had to tell us, like, he doesn't understand, and they've had to communicate it to the guys who says, yo, TBS is problematic. I mean, you cannot have event of this nature there. I mean, and they say that the only event that has seemed to have survived at TBS is a gospel event called The Experience. I mean, the video was there last year, and when you talk to his team, they're like, we're not going to go back there with such an experience, you know. So I think that's one of the biggest. The other one that, I mean, we always have conversations on, which is not confirmed, has always had to do with talent fees. You know, talent fees, essentially, you know. I think that Pan-African artists are becoming very, very expensive by the day for Pan-African audiences, and it's a conversation that has always come up. I think that in the last few weeks, for instance, there's always been the conversation that as much as Afrobeat has gained that global prominence, if we don't take care, particularly with the presence of all these established labels in the country, in Africa, in the continent, we may get to a point where paying to see our favorite music stars is going to be an extreme sport. Yeah. And, you know, also because they've now gotten so used to big fees, performing across the world. This week, people were having conversations about Burna Boy rejecting $5 million.
I know, because he couldn't smoke, yes.
So, you know, so look at the fees, $5 million. The conversation is 500, even Rema. Rema now, who broke through barely 3 years ago, is $500,000. You know, so it's a big conversation, but that particular reason has not really been confirmed. But the biggest one that always everybody has been having conversations about is the TBS, the security situation at TBS, and generally how the security of even people coming to a country could not be fully guaranteed. You know, I mean, going to Nigeria is a decision. You know?
It is. So, I like that you brought the issue about, you know, fees for artists, because I was also hearing from other quarters that now funding, not necessarily funding for the entire event, but funding. So in this case, probably why they could not agree on the fees was also a problem, because the bankrollers could not really guarantee that they were going to get their money back, well, or their money's worth.
From the information that we have, I mean, they had their full funding even before they got into Nigeria. And of course, the Lagos state government, from the information that we have, we're also on hand to provide the much needed support. Again, there's a conversations more or less about the parent company of AFRO Nation Event Horizon having been sold, you know, to new VC firms, to a new VC firm, essentially.
So the parent company is which one?
Event Horizon.
And it's been sold allegedly.
Yes, from the conversations, from some of the conversations that we're having in the background, apparently they've been sold to a new VC firm. And so obviously if once they've been sold, a lot of things will change. May change. But right up into going to Nigeria, they had their funding and all of that really sorted out. You know, but that's why I was saying to you that the issue of the talent is, it's a more informal industrial conversations that are being had. I mean, essentially to say it could be the reason, but the biggest reason that everybody knows, confirmed, even from some of the sources, has always been security.
And I remember that Basket Mouth was here. I interviewed him, I remember, with Roland Walker and another industry colleague of ours. I'm sorry I've forgotten your name, but he confirmed it, that security is a major problem in the country. Is a major problem. And so if you're going to have a concert like this, the reason why a lot of the concerts are in Ghana is because here they can guarantee our security and our safety. There they cannot, Coca. So I'm not surprised that this happened.
And then in the diaspora,
when
you're coming to West Africa in December, coming to Ghana is like a vibe. We're coming. Going to Nigeria is a decision. You can say, we're going to Nigeria. And somebody will say, are you sure the SARS people won't catch you? Are you sure you know be kidnapped?
Exactly.
So it's a lot of steps that you have to go into it. But in any case,
and you're given a bullet points to take to be sure mentally.
But I was in Nigeria. I go to Nigeria and it's really pretty much very safe. But again, like those in Nigeria said to us, the TBS wasn't the venue.
It wasn't. We'll come to why that wasn't the venue, but of course security. But then again, so we were hoping that they would come to Ghana, and they didn't come. They left us and said they were going home.
Home being the home of Afrobeat.
Home of Afrobeat, yes. So home. There was still some home elements there. So they left us
don't mind Sadiq. Whether it's home Afrobeat,
and now it's not happening there again.
They are Nigerians, and I think they just wanted to give to Nigeria.
AFRO Nation is not entirely Nigerian. There are two Nigerians involved, but
they still want to give to their people what they deserve, and then gradually, the December in Ghana, in the sub-region, is becoming a thing. So if you call yourself the entertainment hub and you don't have equities during December, and all the equities are in Ghana, it's something. But they are coming home. Did we do our homework? Did we correct the challenges that forced them out? Did we? Fine. Let's use the old venue they used and let's walk through. What were the challenges? It was security. It was protection because they were open to the beach. It was Independence Square, access to the place. How many years now? As a year now. After the show, did we consider to turn it into an event hub where maybe in terms of fencing, in terms of creating a security welfare environment, did we do that? In terms of access, because a lot of people were attacked, their phones and things, where people's cars were broken in. It is once the hearts of government. What has been done there? So if I hear Ghana Tourism Authority saying that they were waiting for proposals, to do what?
Well, they said that's the plan. So they call for proposals to come in, and then they can have the conversation.
As we were coming here, the place is already. This place is set. The topics we're going to discuss, everything is set. You bring in somebody to do something, you saw the cause effects of the person moving. You have not restored that problematic challenges, and you want the person to come back. Are you now going to hold it in heaven, in Ghana? No.
No, but they admit that, yes, we also did not do our part of the bargain.
Yes,
that's why.
But I would have expected them that these challenges you had, I have put measures in place. This is what I have done. I am meeting you to this point. So now come in, let's make it work. But we were not ready. It's still a bare land. If they should come today, the same challenges will be even worse, because then now everybody knows that, okay, I can go there and make some money by attacking people or by doing that. And we shouldn't encourage this. It then weakens the marketing we are doing about GH in terms of our tourism and in terms of our creatives.
That's the thing. So that means that we've not even been able to find another venue.
I don't think the venue is the problem. Challenge, because obviously, I mean, last year when they came in, the first option was to do the Independence Square, and then eventually they went behind the Independence Square.
But you remember before that the first time they had gone to the other beach, La Boma, right?
La Boma is problematic. There's a lot of problems with La Boma. You know, when he went to La Boma in year one, you know the court cases. I went to in year one, truly. You know the court cases and the near injunctions that came in, because the challenge with La Boma is that when you are done, finalizing with a particular group, you would have about 15 different groups lining up to say,
but the other parts, the people at the beach, people have acquired lands and they have their properties, and you now have to deal with all these people.
Yeah, so
that's why you're saying that about 15
So I'm saying that
more.
obviously was a problem, and so coming back again last year, it wasn't an option. And Independence Square would have been an option. And again, also because Global Citizen had had an Independence Square, at least there's a proper case study on it. And so definitely, if they were going to come back this year, it would have been, Independence Square would have been ideal. But the biggest reasons why they left wasn't really for them, because if they really wanted to come back from the beginning of the year, the land preparation would have started. Anybody that have worked with AFRO Nation would tell you that. They just won't go to any venue. There's a lot that goes into their land preparation, their site management, site planning, and all of these things, you know. And so, if they really wanted to go back to the same venue, a lot would have gone into it, you know. But they just simply didn't want to come back for a number of reasons. You know, obviously, one of the reasons had always had to be with, they had a partnership here. They had a partnership with Event Black Star. They were not happy simply with how...
Why were they not happy?
Well,
deliverables.
They were not, some of the things that they expected to have didn't quite happen.
Like?
Well, they were looking for a certain level of investment.
Okay.
They're looking for a certain level of support from the government, as has been apparently promised them, and then it didn't quite happen. Even Black Star apparently was supposed to be that private vehicle that was going to be backed by the state to be able for them to be able to do that. And then, you know, it quite didn't happen. They were simply not happy. They left a lot of the suppliers that they needed to sort out and pay and all of these things. They were simply not happy. Again, there's also one thing that I've always spoken about when you look at the size of the market. And every time when I say the size of the market, what I mean is that when you look at the money that will come from the sponsorship market that should be able to fund some of these experiences, you can't get it here. It's still very difficult to get a proper $1 million from the sponsorship market for an experience such as this. It's really very difficult. And this festival, this event, it goes in very heavy. I mean, if I'm going to look at it even from a valuation or projection, this shouldn't cost you more than $6 million. Look, even if you want to look at it from the talent part, look at it from, if you're going to have Burna Boy, Rema, Wizkid, and all these talents, don't forget the cheapest that you can get any of these top talents is about $300,000. If you're going to have about 10 of them, or even let's say 6 of them, do you know where you're heading to? Then you come to talk about logistics and all of these things. Festivals are really expensive. Take it from somebody that invests and organizes festival. It's really, really very expensive. And often you have to fall on the personal resources, investors, funds, if they can give it to you, and not necessarily, you know, the sponsorship market is almost, it can't fund it. And because we are still talking, when it comes to sponsorship terms here for events and activation, we're still talking 150,000 cities, 200,000 cities, 300,000 cities for some of these activations, when it is not the case.
People are quoting millions.
So that's one. And so if you really want to do festivals, you've got to sometimes look outside of the market. Okay. Afrochella, ourselves, For Waterland, everybody keeps looking outside of the market to see if you can raise some critical capital for the festivals, or to see if you can do some partnerships with some brands that are looking to market to the diaspora, but will use Ghana as a focal point. So it's been that, or you find your own juju and tricks and make it happen. Because it's really expensive, very, very expensive, and it's not really a walk in the park. Assuming we had a market where, for instance, the sponsorship market was relatively bigger. Don't forget, in the last 2 to 3 years, the sponsorship market has been heavily impacted. Socioeconomic impact is one, regulation is two. I mean, your betting companies, your FMCGs can't go the full haul. Also because FDA is standing by, Gaming Commission is standing by to whip them into line. You know, so all these things are created like a hole, and we need to find a way to plug it in. So the idea, most of us have said that, in the absence of that, once that hole has been created, again, if we are really serious about ensuring the sustainability of these events in our market here, something needs to be done. either we're going to float a fund as a country to be able to, for people that well organize some of these things to be able to assess it, or we're going to find a way to incentivize them, tax rebates, tax reliefs, or anything. Because regardless of the sponsorship difficulty, investment difficulty, your GRA would stop at nothing to still take their taxes.
So we should forget AFRO Nation?
No, we should forget. But with the sponsorship, the biggest issue we have in Ghana is to understand what we are selling and who we are going to. Events in Ghana wait fourth quarter to start preparation. A lot of them wait to go to corporate bodies. And
that's not the case.
I'm saying a lot of them. I have sit in a position, I have seen it, that there are events that are now sending proposals to companies.
At this time?
At this time.
Yeah. How?
Yeah. So you need to be able to have a plan, go to the company and prepare. The issues of regulations, these things what Sadiq saying, they have been there.
Yeah.
But there is a company.
No, they have not been there.
You asking for $4 million from a company for a festival. What will be the returns?
Yeah.
What is the returns for the company? How is the CEO able to go and justify this to the board?
Exactly.
But you need to go and build an experience sellable product returns where in terms of the brand will move and then it will be backed by sales. But if you don't have anything, why would I come to TV3 to advertise when I'm not sure my product will go? So people event organizers need to understand the importance of sponsorship and then build events around products that target your market and start a conversation from the beginning of the year so that you become part of the budget.
You see, when they say these things, sometimes I just laugh. We've scaled over this. This is not even one of the conversations that has been had. Look, and it goes both ways. If I'm a marketing director within the year, and I've got a plan with an idea of some of the things that I would invest in, I will not actually even wait for the people to approach us. It's also because your size of the market is so small.
Yeah.
The money is so small. And so it's created this thing where everybody feels like they've got to actually chase. Look, the international brands do chase us. They look to it because they are happening. They are by early in the year. They're asking. They're sending emails. Are you coming back?
It's true. That's what I'm saying. I have been in a company that this thing. We are chasing people. You agree with them. We'll do this, and last minute they tell you that we can't do it again.
Yeah. So
then you have to now adjust and say that okay, I'll give Kofi 20. I'll give this person this. I'll give this person this, so that when I put all together, I can get what I want. And that is the country we are in with events.
So I agree with him when he said that. I mean, the value for money on $4 million. Of course. That's why I said the size. Your marketing per annum, the marketing advertising spend is about 300 million cedis per annum. I mean, the last valuation that was done was about 6 years ago. And from what we know, also because of some of these two reasons, socioeconomic impact, regulation, it's been decreasing. 300 million cedis, media, broadcasting is taking, radio, TV is taking, BTL is taking, everybody's taking. So really, in your market, ways that you're supposed to have marketing budgets that will brands and also be able to fund some. So if once you make sense now, there's a big hole that's been created as a result of socioeconomic impact and regulation when it comes to sponsorship. And so it's declined further. That's one. We need to find a way to plug it. Other than that, would always fall on what we've been doing, which Afro Future and Wilderland will do, which is fall back on private funds. But with time, when these private funds, if the market is not able to support it, then it becomes hard to sustain it. And so thereby falling. And a number of activities and events have had to fall on the cracks because of these things. And that's what there's no equity support. So when you look at it within your market, yes, we become the world's global holiday destination every December. Yes, our parties are be talked about. we keep creating events and experiences, combining tourism, arts, culture, music, all put together, all on the account of all the private individuals, what they are doing. But from a state point, what exactly is being done to complement some of the activities or some of the things everybody, all of us when we sit and talk, we're complaining. I mean, I've had the GTA talker. Yesterday I had an official speak to me. I was like, what are you guys going to give to us? Because it's almost as if, it's almost negligible. What exactly
so are you saying that for even the companies that operate here like yours, organizing events, you're not getting any support from the state as it stands now?
So you see,
you won't get equity support.
Okay, so what they've always mentioned is that, we want to give support. You could see there's an effort to want to give a support of a sort, but the expectation is not what exactly they are offering. I mean, you're going to go into an event that will cost you more than $200,000 or $300,000. I mean, if there's a state coming in, obviously you need some of the things that would either help you make a saving to expand the experience, or they are going to give you a certain level of funding access. Be it as it may, a lot of us are not looking to that because, government is broke and it won't happen and everything.
Bella, but it will always happen. You remember the last time I told you?
When they come in, they offer publicity. On your budget, you're going to spend almost about $50,000 publicizing here and outside.
They offer publicity?
Yeah, I mean, so far, what they offer is publicity.
They don't offer money, cash?
I say you don't get equity.
The money from?
You never get equity. But you remember the last time
they offer publicity, and then
on the show, I was telling you that if we want to build this thing, we need to have the tourism tax where we pick it from everybody, especially those coming in. So the fund is built. We know Sadiq has submitted a proposal.
No, there's a tourism levy already.
You
1%.
Yes. Yeah. I'm saying everybody coming in, you are selling your tourist sites and venues and shows to them. So you already know that, okay, I'm going to give Sadiq this amount of money. So I need to market to these number of people and get this amount of money so that I can give Afrofuture $2 million. I can give these people. It is based on you using the already resources you have.
But isn't that what they did? Because recently, the GTA flew a number of industry persons.
I'm saying I'm coming to Ghana. I'm coming to Ghana.
The work of GTA.
As I enter Ghana, I will pay, let's say, $200. That gives me access to tourist sites and other places for me to go and visit.
Okay.
It's mandatory as a country when any foreigner you get here. Through that, you build a big fund, you renovate and sustain the excitement in these tourist sites, but you also get money to build content for the people. So then what will happen is there are more inflows. The more inflows that come, you assure him that if you can give me more excitement, I can get to sell to more people, and then what you are asking for, I can also get my returns. We need to go that open-minded. Okay, so that lets people know that this is what we have. So but if we sit aloof to say that, we have 1%, we have this, we need to start looking at things differently and look at them like they are entrepreneurs.
So even traveling out there to go and pitch
so Bella, just for
when they come, what would they
do? For clarity,
that for you
currently as a country, we have a 1% tourism development levy, which obviously goes to the GTA. So that regime is there, but it's supposed to go for the GTA. I can see the efforts of the GTA in how they are trying to supplement some of the things. I've seen what they did with some of the comedians, which is commendable. I've seen how they went to, it's commendable. But December in Ghana is very expensive. And December in Ghana, in terms of the conversation, I mean, suppliers costs are up, everything is up. And in terms of conversation, it's very expensive. I see the efforts, and I recognize the effort in having to actually, even when they don't have the money, to start a conversation to say, what can we do? Can we help and everything? But for years, we've been trying to provide a feedback of a sort to say, well, I mean, I recognize your efforts. I recognize what you're trying to do. It's fine. We'll come to you. But the challenges that we have is bigger than what you're offering, essentially. The challenges that we have, we talk about it. What continuously keeps us in business is the fact that government has projected that every December there are about 250,000 people coming into the country. Let's even assume that that's even an exaggerated figure. Even if it's 150,000 people, quite clearly there's a number of people that are coming into the country every December. And so that number is something that we can work and try to get a chunk of, you know. So all of us get involved in creating the experiences that assert our holiday makers status. The conversation now is, what exactly should the state do for all these private individuals whose activity in December is asserting our positioning as a holiday makers sport in the world, you know, and that is where we are. GTA is taking the lead in the absence of any proper overarching plan from the government in terms of how to complement what we are doing. They're taking the lead in actually starting the conversation. It's a good start. We commend it. But obviously, when you look at what actually the space needs, it's not enough. We can always have a conversation regarding it. But I also see where you're saying, assuming the Creative Arts Fund was operational, for instance, then it can be a point where you say, all those businesses that are registered with the creative agency and are running properly, and we see how they provide impact. Because when you look at Wilderland, for instance, you're connecting tourism, eco destinations. When you pick up your audience, they go to Safari Valley, they go to Peninsula Resorts, they go to Akosombo, Adomi Bridge, before they get to their venue at Stone Lodge. And then, so you're connecting tourism, eco destinations, music, food, and a number of things put together and having people experience Ghana. So obviously it will tick the box. So again, what exactly do you do for us? Of course, you may offer the publicity. Thank you, we like it, we may take it. But really,
you should do more than that.
Exactly.
Are you sure you like the publicity?
Just I'm saying that. No, I mean, of course, you've been offered.
But you see,
you've been offered,
he's a working publicity already.
Exactly.
So you are working publicity, so they had to. Bella, look from, and the painful thing we're also not doing is after 31st, GH is dead.
Is it really?
After 31st.
No,
actually, it's not, because I remember that,
yes, January.
There's a whole trend. Last year, like this,
so
there was a party on the 1st,
I'm saying
till 7 a.m. That even made its way onto all the
events, event companies, people who do events. And the tourism that he is saying, last year, it was one of the research with the company where we decided to do. And we realized that that was a time the traveling was more intense from Accra to the north. People are now going to their hometowns and everything, because there are only about 5 events companies that really from maybe 1st to 5th that will be happening. The rest will just be the normal parties and other things. But the tourism itself pick from that time, because a lot of people come and it's the events and they are running around, but it's from first going, it is the tourism. I want to now go home. I want to now go to this person. I'm not now individual parties and other things are coming from first. So we need to, even that, support them and also segregate the events so that they can get enough time. Then the stress on resources in terms of logistics and everything, it also gives them room to be able to get enough from their investment.
Once we talk about it, we need to also highlight the issues that some of the roads to some of these tourist hubs is facing. Look, it takes you 3 or 4 hours between Kaswa, Budubram, and Winneba roundabout alone when you're going to Cape Coast. Cape Coast is a tourism hub, and that's what affected. Something needs to be done about it.
They said they'll build an airport.
Well, it kills the spirit and the vibe. I mean, this week, who was complaining? George Quay. We were all going to a funeral in Mankasim. I mean, we spent 3 hours in the traffic. George Quay turned around. You can imagine the number of tourists that will turn around because of this. Then it denies us of that 1% tourism development levy, which will come into the pool. Again, going forward, I think that it's long overdue. The issue of the creative agency and the tourism creative fund needs to be clarified by now. We don't know if there's been an appointment of a substantive executive director. We don't know if they are operating right. The Creative Arts Fund, when the LI would be passed to execute, to give it that proper, befitting status to enable them create the Creative Arts Fund that can be able to fund or support some of these things. Point is that all the people that are creating the experiences, look, we are holiday makers sport on the account of the work that are done by young individuals that own bars, pubs, run events, Afrofuture, Wilderland, Rapperholic, BIM Concert, and everybody else. And within that period, December has become an important month, particularly for the GRA, because you would see a spike. People coming into the country, transportation will see a spike. Your hotels will see a spike. Your Airbnb will see a spike.
Everything.
Food.
Everything
will spike.
Yeah.
Clothing,
All of it
everything.
will find its way into our consolidated, fund one way or the other.
Yeah.
So I think that going forward, these are some of the things that needs to be prioritized.
Okay.
I always say to Akwesi that it's a gain to say that, well, they are reaching out. In the absence of nothing, in the absence of anything, they could have sat back as well. But at least in reaching out and offering something, it's good, it's commendable, it's a start, but no more needs to be done.
Well, we're looking forward to what's happening this Christmas. And I know Wonderland is happening. Do you have the dates and everything ready? Have you started?
Say 20th December. Stone Lodge. We've gone 2 days to Stone Lodge.
Oh, nice. I know, that's one of our Pepper's favorite places. And we'll talk about events in the subsequent week, so you know what to expect. I know Uncle Libo White will also be putting together the Riverman production.
Yes, the Festival of Place.
Festival of Place.
Yes.
So I'm sure at the right time we'll come into that and give you an idea of what to expect throughout the Christmas period and, the early part of 2024 as well. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us this morning. But at least as far as we're concerned, Afro Nation is not coming back this year.
Yeah,
we don't know what could happen next year or the year after, but as it stands now, we're not having that. But while the line is happening, we have Afro Future. We have quite a number of events happening, so look forward to them. Yeah. Anyway, Sadiq Abdullah Abu is a media entrepreneur and he's also a politician. He's looking forward to representing the people of Okakwe Central.
Right.
Yes, I got it right. I got me. And Koka is also a media pundit. We'll come back with a conversation with Mentor. But quickly, happy birthday going out to you if it's your birthday today.